everyone, and welcome back at Adobe Live. I'm here with the lovely Phil Pollen. Hi, Phil. How's it going?
I'm so good now that I'm with you. 3 for 3. Here we go.
Yes, today is our third stream together. So first of all, thank you so much, everybody, for starting the day and kicking off the day with us here at Adobe Live. We're going to be making amazing graphics using Adobe Creative Cloud Express. So even if you're not a designer, but maybe you run a business or you just started a side hustle, this is the right place for you to learn how to make wonderful standout graphics, especially for your social media using Adobe Creative Cloud Express. We already spent 2 days with Phil learning wonderful techniques, easy to use techniques. Is shared, Phil has shared, has been very generous, sharing wonderful templates that you can access by watching the replays. But what we're going to be doing today, Phil, tell us more.
I'm so excited for what we have planned today. It's a little bit different than what we've done the last few days. So earlier this week, and you can see those streams as well if you get time. We did a few things. We talked about Instagram Live and gave a template for that. We also talked about your Instagram feed and creating simple and clean graphic elements. For that, you don't always have to post a picture of yourself, right? By the time you take a photo or have someone take a photo of you and then you write a caption, it can be time consuming. My whole thing and my whole love of Creative Cloud Express is the ability to not be a designer and hop in this amazing tool to create social media content quickly. This week, we're talking all about Instagram. Today, we're going to talk specifically about Instagram stories, and we're going to get even more specific than that. I'm going to walk through what I think are some of the most exciting Instagram stickers for your stories. Stickers are the way to drive engagement in your stories just by using some of the ones that you see on the screen. It means that you will drive more engagement on your stories within the first few minutes, even within the first hour of posting an Instagram story. Instagram is paying close attention, right? We don't know exactly how the algorithm works, but we do know the more engagement you get earlier on, the more likely your content is going to go out to everyone who follows you and even beyond that. And one way it is exciting. One way to try and drive as much engagement as possible or to use some of these Instagram stickers. And I might give a few of my favorites some spotlight today in the time we have, Claudia. I can't wait also to find out what your favorite Instagram sticker is. Do you have a favorite?
Make my own.
You make your own.
I make my own. That. So I actually just made one for an Adobe Live show called How To coming up later on. But I tend to use a lot of sparkles. So whenever I place a link, arrows and sparkles are probably the one that I use more often.
Beautiful. I love that you make your own. That is so super cool. One of my favorites that's built into Instagram that people can interact with is the poll. So I'm actually going to delete this first layer. We're going to start with a blank canvas, and we are going to jazz up this blank canvas because we can do that in Creative Cloud Express. Now, what I've done for the demo today is just put an image, a PNG, just for the purpose of the demonstration. You wouldn't want this in your final design, but for the purpose of sharing my screen and working on a canvas so we can imagine how it would look, I have it here today. So a poll is one of the easiest stickers that you can create in Instagram. And what I love is that we can first create an image in Creative Cloud Express that you could then put this sticker over top. That's what we're going to do today. So let's say we do a poll. So a poll is in its most basic form, option A or option B. So for example, we could add some text here, and I'm going to come up with a question. Claudia,
in the meantime, sorry to pause you there, but there is actually a question from the chat, which reminds me that I haven't said hi yet to all the lovely people that are watching. So first of all, let us know where you're watching from. I am streaming from Manchester, UK, while Phil is in Florida right now. And we have so many people in the chat joining on Behance. We have in particular Sean, Monica, Sam helping us out with a useful clickable link directly in chat, Andrea Soler. And we do have a question from Frank Baum asking, hi there, I'm a CC subscriber, but curious to know if CC Express is free for no CC subscriber as Spark was. So do you want to take that question, Phil?
Yeah, I can. You might have more information on this, but with the launch of Creative Cloud Express, there are absolutely a ton of features that you can get started with for free. That's my recommendation. If you're new to Creative Cloud Express, hop in here and get started creating. There are some premium features that, in my opinion, are totally worth it. I actually made a video on my own YouTube channel recently about some of my favorite premium features. But what I love so much about this update is how much is available to people for free. Thank you, Adobe, for this amazing update.
Yes, correct. So you can access Adobe Creative Cloud Express in order to express your ideas and grow your business in just a few clicks, both on your mobile and on your desktop. So it's available from the browser and from the mobile. Majority of the content is free to access. All the template that Phil has kindly shared with us are free to access. You will notice that there is a little difference in terms of the icon that identifies the premium content. Is a little crown that you can find on images or assets, but we're going to have a browse around today with Phil while we make these wonderful graphics, and you will see that there is really a ton of gorgeous, professional, beautiful assets there at your fingertips. And I'm talking about photos, illustrations, and all sort of design assets, elements in terms of watercolors and so much more. And also the integration with Adobe fonts. So the access to all the beautiful, gorgeous, bold fonts from Adobe Font are there for you to use for free. So yeah, hopefully that helps out. And just real quick before we move forward, since I already interrupted you, Phil, I want to remind everybody that we're also streaming on YouTube, and there is a dedicated channel where you can learn so much more about Adobe Creative Cloud Express. The YouTube channel is worth subscribing to. There is a ton of content. It gets constantly updated with new videos, how to, and instruction and inspiration on how to use this wonderful new app. So go ahead and check it out. All the replays here with Phil and my previous replays that I've created in the week here with Adobe Live, making content with Adobe Creative Cloud Express are ready for you to browse anytime you want. But let's get going. Let's get to work. I see that you're already building and making things really quickly.
We're a team here, Claudia. We're a team. Thank you for helping me. You bought me some time there to get a little design ready, and I'll talk through what I did while you were sharing some important points there. You pointed out, and I'll highlight too, because I've got my screen sharing. Resize, for example, is a premium feature, and you know that with the little crown icon there, but so much of this is free with Creative Cloud Express. It's just awesome. I just love how much someone can experiment with and create quickly without having to worry, right? Hop in here, get designing, and you might find actually some of the premium features are really useful for you, in which case you can have that, that membership. So what I did while you were chatting was I started with a very basic colored background, and I thought, well, what we can actually use is an image that might match what our poll is going to be. Again, I have just added an image here for the purpose of today's demonstration. This is an Instagram sticker. Specifically, it's a poll. You would add this when right before you go to post it on Instagram. You wouldn't actually add this in Creative Cloud Express, but I have it on screen for the demo. I love so many things about Creative Cloud Express, and if I had to choose a favorite, it's a tie between two things: templates. They have thousands of beautiful, I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again, Adobe level quality, right? Really, I mean, the most amazing designs that you can start from and then apply your brand. So that's favorite thing number one is the templates. And I've also made videos about this on my channel. The second thing I love as a brand strategist, this should be no surprise. The second thing I love is the ability to add your own brand within Creative Cloud Express. I'm going to show you what that looks like on this front, and then I might switch over to actually show you how the brand is set up while I'm talking about it. I've gone ahead and uploaded my logos. So this is my logo for my business, my brand. And then I have more. I love that you can have your primary logo set. This is what I use on most stuff. It's not going to show up on this particular design because it's dark, but I could upload the white version and you would see it down here in the bottom corner. Going to delete that for now. Also, when I go over here to color, when I have my brand set up, it's going to make it easy for me to grab my brand colors if those are set. We'll come back to this screen in just a minute. I think it's really important while I'm talking about this to show you how this looks. So rather than having to save a note or somewhere that you have your codes for your brand colors, right, hoping to be consistent, you can actually, under here, it's called brands. I have one set up for a client and I have one set up for me. We're talking about me, so I'm going to go ahead and click manage. Here is where you'll store your logos. And if you have more than one, fantastic. I have one logo, but I have different variations of that depending on how I'm using it. And that's where I put it right here. I have my colors preset. These should be familiar if you've been hanging out with us this week because I used my own brand colors on the templates that I've shared with you.
Your favorite color?
I love green. I really do. I love green. As you can see, right? As you can see. And Claudia, you said something really important a second ago, the integration of Adobe fonts. I mean, I've been building websites for 10 years and my go-to when I get hired by some pretty big clients, work with celebrities, work with businesses and brands and public figures and personal brands all over the world, over 30 countries. My go-to is Adobe fonts. Adobe fonts. They are always the best. And so you can see my brand font here is Gil Sans Nova Semi Bold, which is an Adobe font. And I have it set as heading and I have the body font set, which means when I hop back over to my design in a second, we'll keep designing for that Instagram story. It means that all of this is already set up. I don't have to sit there and fuss and find the font. I have to, set the size. It'll actually just style it right away by having these preset. This is really, really cool as well. I want to just point this out. We're hopping back over to the design. The ability to set themes for pages, for videos, branded surfaces. Adobe thinks of everything. Header, footer, logo, stamp, outro. I mean, you could spend a few minutes in here, set your brand colors, and it's going to make creation so much easier moving forward. I'm going to hop back to that project.
I love how in your previous recent project, we have all different shades of green.
I know. It's a giveaway,
So
right?
So
I love branding. I guess I'm in the right job.
Good.
I love
consistency together.
Yes. Well, and to that point, Claudia, I actually love the ability to keep everything in one place. So for me and what I do, I will hop over to Photoshop and some of the, the other Adobe apps. I love the integration as well. I come to Creative Cloud Express to create social media graphics, to create things quickly. I can do things faster in Creative Cloud Express than I can over in Photoshop. And that's one of my favorite things. This is a good example of that, right? An Instagram story. But look at this beautiful image that you have access to from Adobe stock. Like, hello, all of these are so great. I pulled this one from the nature section. I mean, I could literally spend hours just looking at these beautiful images that we could use. I guess I shouldn't choose a waterfall. I'm going to choose a beach.
Ooh.
So you have to answer the Instagram question now, Claudia. Yeah. I need to know your answer. You have to pretend that you're voting in my Instagram.
So I think I'm a jungle lady.
Are you a jungle lady?
I think so. Yes. I grew up on the seaside, and when I go to Italy, I live on a boat. So maybe I'm spoiled for that reason. I crave the jungle, and I love all elements of the jungle, from the plants and the nature takeover. Although the beach, if you talk about seaside and living on the sea, I don't know, that becomes a little bit harder. But gut instinct says jungle.
That's a great answer. I accept that answer. We're going to pretend you pushed the poll, and now I'm keeping track of your answer. What's really cool, I want to point this out, is when you throw out a question like this to your audience on Instagram, the questions you ask don't always have to be businessy. They don't always have to be professional or related to your brand or your industry. It could be as simple as throwing out a question that might come up in conversation. Where would you like to go on vacation next? I'd ask a coworker or a friend that, and it means that that's probably engaging content for social media. This is smart because it makes you pick, it makes you vote to see the results, right? Aren't you curious to see which is going to win among my audience, the jungle or the beach? I would choose beach. Claudia chooses jungle. So we're at 50-50. Now let's hear from anyone who's watching the stream live. Put it in the chat. Would you choose beach or jungle? You have to let us know.
Let us know in the chat, and you can vote this Instagram poll both on YouTube and on Behance. And I'm going to be here looking at the chat. But as I said all the time as well, make sure to use this time to ask questions, because that's the perfect place, the safe place, as I say, to get to know more and learn more. And Phil is sharing so much insight regarding branding and regarding Adobe Creative Cloud Express. So use the chat to reply to the poll, but also to ask questions, because we always learn together. I learn from your questions, so make sure to keep them coming, either on YouTube or Behance, and I keep my eyes peeled. So far we have beach, beach, mountain. Clever. Right. Clever say mountain. We have one jungle from you. Yeah. Who else? Let us know. Sam, what do you like? Sam is in chat helping us out with all the wonderful links. Before we were talking about pricing. If you scroll up in the chat, you will see that there is a link about pricing, about Express. And again, I'm just going to throw that out there for those of you who want to follow along. In order to access Express in your browser, just simply click, all you have to type is express.adobe.com, and you will be able to follow along and replicate anything that Phil is doing on screen. So go ahead and let us know. Yeah, Sean is saying, way to go, Clever. With the mountain. But so far, it looks like we have beach, 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 beach. Andrea Soler, beach. So it looks like that. Y'all, I'm gonna be alone in the jungle with you. You and studio is just gonna be me and you fighting the tigers in the jungle and writing.
I feel like this proves the point that we just made a second ago, the power of asking a question that people are excited to not only answer, but see the replies. And so that I can guarantee you that including a slide like this on your Instagram story, it's going to drive more engagement, and it's going to help your visibility. It's going to help build your authority. You don't always have to post businessy stuff. Sometimes you can just post everyday human stuff. Adobe Creative Cloud Express gives you the tools to customize it. They don't tell you how you have to design something. In fact, this is the perfect tool if you're not a designer. I mentioned on yesterday's stream, I'm totally self-taught. I own and run a branding agency, have done so for 10 years. I never studied design. So much of what I've learned using Adobe tools is self-taught. In Creative Cloud Express, it gives you this toolkit to be able to get in here and create efficiently. So let's look at another style of poll, for example. So let's say, I showed you where we would actually put, two different word options. Let's use another image. We could also go over here to background. So I have the background set right now to simple. Let me just remove this image for this example.
And I have a quick question for you before we're going, since we're talking about engagement. Can you tell us something? I'm just gonna use this time for information.
I'm glad you are. That's what I'm here to help.
What about hashtag? What can you tell us?
I get a lot of questions about hashtags. I think hashtags they're great and they're useful, but I think sometimes they get a little too much attention. Here's what I'll say. There's no harm in using hashtags. You can use up to 30 hashtags on your post, either in your caption or as the first comment on your post. That's typically what I do. People have all different opinions, whether it should be in your caption or your post. Certainly, there are tools out there as well. You can look on Instagram search. Normally, when you look up a hashtag, you can see the total quantity, and that'll give you an idea of how competitive a hashtag is. Now in 2022 and beyond, we've got other tools. Flick.tech is a popular one that will do that work for you and suggest to you hashtags that are low, medium, and high competition, your chances of ranking on a hashtag, which means your post shows up. We're going to give a little credit to, I think his name is Sean, right? Who voted mountain. We're going to put a little mountain in our design.
Clever.
Yes. So I would say, Claudia, that they're good to have, but I think consistency on social media is more important than what hashtags you use. So rather than, for example, you got time this week, so you show up every day on Instagram and then we don't hear from you for a month, that's not good. Even, regardless of what hashtags you use on your post. Instagram, like YouTube and other social media platforms, reward you for being consistent. So if you've got the time, you want to add hashtags on your post, no harm in it, but there's your content itself is more important than what hashtags you use. I'm giving on the screen, I'm doing a little, talking through strategy while designing, multitasking.
That's how easy it is. And something else that I think is worth mentioning is that if either on your browser, but even most importantly on your mobile, you can automatically push this content that you can create so quickly. Phil is showing us, just giving us the perfect example how quickly it is to make these stories. You can just literally post them from Adobe Express in your Instagram page or channel or stories or post, whatever you prefer. You can also choose where it's going to go.
What I would recommend, I have this layer here, this PNG image file, just for reference today while we're designing. I will sometimes do that when I'm designing in Creative Cloud Express. I'll put that sticker there so that I can design for it. But before I export and save this as JPEG or PNG, whichever you choose, I will delete that. And that's the final image that you would want to save and upload to your Instagram story. And you put that, that sticker that you access directly in Instagram over top so people can actually interact with it. I showed you also how easy it was. Oh, great. Go ahead.
I feel question coming. First of all, Annika, welcome. And thank you so much for joining us here. We have a question directed to you and your content creation. So is Phil creating more video content now that Instagram was declared a video app?
That's a great question. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm trying to create more video content on Instagram, but also I enjoy creating long form video content on platforms like YouTube. I find that Instagram often gets the attention, doesn't it, of the conversation around social media. I think because Instagram is exciting and it's busy and there's so many things you can do on it. But I think we can't ignore other platforms like Pinterest and YouTube. I would say I spend less time on Twitter now than I used to, but it's still good for thought leadership. But YouTube, I'm going to point out, who was it that asked that question? I didn't hear her name. Annika. So
She's
Annika,
another lovely host, streamer here for the.
Oh, awesome. Annika, streaming, if you're excited by video content, I would gently push you in the direction of YouTube, because once you're able to monetize your channel and post consistently, decide a day of the week and post at least once a week if you can. Look at what Adobe is doing on this channel, by the way, streaming so often. This helps you grow that engaged audience, but YouTube will eventually start paying you through advertising. And even though it starts small, it continues to grow. Every video you post is like, I describe it as like a lottery ticket. It's like,
never know it's gonna take you.
You never know. Exactly. I think I've posted 160 YouTube videos in a little over 2 years. It was my 4th video and my 35th video that have into the hundreds of thousands of views. And they weren't even my favorite videos. They weren't topics I was particularly passionate about. And then some of my very favorite videos I've ever posted didn't take off, but guess what? YouTube pays me for that content. Instagram does not pay me.
Yeah, that's all about the audience. That's really interesting. That's so wonderful. And Phil, we have just I don't know where time is gone. Unfortunately,
I know we have so much fun
wrapping up because I believe we just have 1 minute.
Okay, let's do it.
So if you just want to wrap up with what we're doing, and unfortunately,
perfect,
to start to say goodbye.
Perfect, perfect. We have so much fun together. I wanted to show you one more example of a sticker that I love. I showed you the poll. Now I'm showing you the question sticker, the quiz, I should say, not questions, quiz feature. This allows you to essentially create a quiz where you would actually set the right answer. So I've done an example here. Obviously I would delete this and I would export this image that I have access to in Creative Cloud Express. Love having access to Adobe stock. Claudia, do you know which one is not true here? I put 2 truths and a lie. Which one is a lie?
The third one is a lie. I love driving. And the only reason why I'm giggling is because I don't have my glasses. So I really struggled with that.
Well, you picked right. You guessed correctly. I do not have my driver's license. So that is such a lie. I hate driving.
Phil, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye. We had a blast with you. Thank you so much for joining us here in these 3 days. And thank you so much, everybody, for spending the time here with us. I hope that you learned a ton. I'm sure that you learned a ton. Don't forget to go and subscribe on the YouTube channel for Adobe Creative Cloud Express to learn how to make your idea and express your idea quickly and easily with this wonderful app. Phil, I don't know how to thank you enough. It was beautiful to share this time with you. Thank you for joining us.
I agree. You've been such a wonderful host. I so appreciate you, and I hope we can do it again.
Absolutely. Hopefully we're going to meet again. But in the meantime, you guys go and grab a glass of water and come back. There is more content coming up. Wuduval with the Daily Creative Challenge in Photoshop and so much more fun at Adobe Live. And I will see you later as well. Bye, everybody. Thank you. And thank you so much, Phil. Bye.
Bye.